Open Seattle Sports Show alongside Chris Egan and Paul Silvi. Thank you, Chris.
Let's go, Paul. Come on.
This is the big debut of our show that streams live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. on King 5 Plus and the King 5 app. It also airs on Kong. Chris and I are excited about this show, this opportunity for King 5 Sports to expand our coverage. And I'll tell you what, I'm excited about it. I know you are.
You know it's a big show. You got fresh popcorn.
Barely have any room for all this
We got pickleballs up here. I think, Paul, what you and I love about this show, and we've been doing sports for a long time, 60 years combined, we've been covering sports in the great city of Seattle. But now we have a chance to actually talk a little bit more. There's many times when we're on the news set and the producers in your ear says, you got 15 seconds, break down the Mariners.
Yeah.
We got an entire hour, 5 days a week to talk Seattle sports. I mean, I am so excited about this, Paul. Coming in today, now there's change. When there's change, there's difference. I'm on I-5. The place is packed. Here's my mindset, Paul. Mindset Monday. Option A, traffic simply sucks. Or option B, you know what? I get to drive to work. I get to listen to sports radio. I get to talk to my mom and dad. And guess what? When I get to King 5, I get to work with you, my friend. So here we go. I like option B.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. It's going to be a lot of fun. The great thing, as Chris mentions, we get to give some opinions. We have some time to talk about what we feel about the teams in this area and the games that are going on, and not just have that 15-second window where we can just shove our opinion in and get off to the commercials. So have a whole hour here. We'll talk about a lot of different things and give you our opinions. And of course, we're going to need some help on that. So every show, we're going to try to have special guests on this. Let's take a look at what's on tap for today's show. The Mariners are coming off a strong weekend, taking 2 out of 3 from the Rangers. We'll talk about what worked and what didn't and hear from the players. We'll also look ahead to the A's series that starts tonight. Great week to start this show with the NFL draft coming up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Which direction will the Seahawks go? Will they trade for more picks, take a running back in the first round, edge rusher, cornerback? Lots to get to there. We'll also talk Huskies football with the one and only Dave Softy Mahler from Sports Radio 93.3 KJR. Let's bring him on now. Softy, welcome to the show. Thank you for being with us on the inaugural voyage.
Before we get going here, whose decision was it that the world needed more Egan and Silvi in their lives? I'm just trying to figure that out, right? I mean, who woke up and said, you know what, out of all the things we need, world peace, solve homelessness, fix the freeways, somebody actually decided to wake up and say, you know what we need is more Silvi and more Egan. So whose decision was that? That's what I want to know, guys. Come on.
Well, not only that, more Softy as well. We get a little more Softy on this day. And Softy, I'm going to start right there. Couple days ago, Mariner fans jumping off the ship. The world is ending. What is happening? What is going on with this team? Dave, there's still 139 games to go. They had a good weekend. Everybody just settled down a little bit, right?
Oh, God. Guys, I got to tell you, and I fight this battle on my show every single April, every single May. For the last 32 years, I got to be honest with you, I absolutely hate it. I hate this time of the year because people, including me, by the way, lose their brains over this baseball team. Guys, I don't care what happens in April and May for the most part. Unless somebody of significance gets hurt, right? Like if a Cal Raleigh or a Julio or one of your starting pitchers blew his elbow out, went down for the year with a major injury, that's a different animal. But my God, I've said it so many times, just play the first couple of months of the year behind a curtain. Wake me up on June the 1st and let me know how these guys are doing in the standings, because I can't respond to this every single day. Can you imagine? Every single day, these poor SOBs that do like post-game shows for these baseball teams, every single night they have to take phone calls and react to every little stupid thing they see. Can you imagine having that gig, having that job every single week, every single day? So, yeah, man, it's all good. But, guys, here's what we've learned. I think it's another reminder that this pitching staff is going to be elite, right? The offense needs to kind of find their groove. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it's the Marine later. Who the hell knows? Maybe the World Baseball Classic. I find it, not really funny, but a little bit coincidental in some ways that all the guys that are struggling, except for Canzone, all played in the WBC, right? Naylor, Cal Riley, Julio, all those guys played in the World Baseball Classic. So, yeah, give these guys a couple of weeks, but this pitching staff is elite. These guys are going to be in the hunt, no doubt, in September because of that rotation for sure.
All right, let's start with the Mariners. Let's keep that going now. They're coming off a strong weekend against the Rangers. And you talk about the pitching, Softy, but it was good to see the bats come around as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, guys, look, 60 home runs ain't going to happen again for Cal Raleigh. I think we all know that. It took 100 whatever years for it to happen once. It's not going to happen twice in consecutive seasons, so forget about it. The one thing I'm a little bit irritated with is the way that Julio starts off a year. This is year 5 now. I think it's kind of time to figure it out, man. I mean, look, I'm not going to compare my golf game to a Major League Baseball player, but a lot of us in the Pacific Northwest have no choice if we want to go out and play golf in the middle of the winter, to bundle up. You put a gator on, you put a heated vest on, you put extra socks on, whatever. Maybe Julio needs to wear a gator. Maybe Julio Rodriguez needs a heated jersey when he's out there in April and in late March, because it's time for him to start delivering early on, guys. These games matter, right? I mean, you lost the number 1 seed by 4 games a year ago. You want to win this division with as much cushion as possible. I don't like when people just say, these games don't matter, throw them out. Julio is going to be fine as long as he starts hitting in July. No, this guy's making a lot of money. He's in year 5. It's time to start being consistent from day number 1.
I agree, Softy. 209 batting average just doesn't do it. We are seeing him get on base a little bit more. Mariners, 11 hits, 7 runs on Saturday, 8 hits, 5 runs on Sunday. And you said it, Softy, and I'll agree with you. In my mind, it all starts with the pitching. Mariners got some great starts this weekend from George Kirby on Saturday and Brian Wu on Sunday. Here's the pitchers now.
Coming home, you just got to, have a short-term memory and, get back to controlling what you can control and focusing on the game ahead. It's tough, especially when you start stacking a few losses one after the other. It can get frustrating, but the more that you can just get back to controlling what you can control and, winning today's game, that's the most you can do.
I'll just try to be the best I can, not do too much, but just go out there and attack, and things usually work out.
It's interesting to hear from Kirby and Wu, and I got to say this: I was watching the game on Saturday, and Wu was talking to the broadcast guys, and normally I don't like when they put the headsets on the players during the game and it takes away from the game and the action. I am the old man yelling at the cloud at that point. But listening to Brian Wu, because he isn't exactly more real comfortable when it comes to giving us great sound bites. He's just all business. But listening to him, he was very relaxed in the dugout, talking about Zach Wheeler being one of his idols, one of the guys he likes to pattern his game over. And I thought that was an interesting take from Wu. But, man, let's just get back to the starting pitching. It's just been outstanding.
No, it's been unbelievable, guys. I mean, this is what's going to win you a World Series, right? Like, all of us love Cal. We all love Julio. We all love Naylor. We all love Rosarina, all these guys, J.P. Crawford. We're going to love Colin Emerson when he comes up. But that guy right there, Brian Wu, that you have on the screen, has been so damn consistent for these dudes since he got a job in the rotation a couple years ago. This is what's going to win you a World Series. Hopefully that and a revamped bullpen. I mean, Jose Ferrer, who you gave up Harry Ford for, has been, not good, and that's putting it kindly. This is a guy that's supposed to be a lefty specialist, and lefties are mashing this guy in the first couple weeks of the year, so you got to figure that out. But that does give me, guys, I don't know about you, but it gives me some pause a little bit from a positive perspective that these guys haven't even come close to hitting their stride. Like, Munoz has been terrible by his standards. Ferrer's been awful by his standards. Cal, Julio, Naylor, for the most part, have done nothing of significance, and you're still sitting there a couple of games under 500 and a game and a half out of first place. And that's another thing, guys, about this league. We thought last year one of the biggest reasons why we had optimism, I think, in some ways about the Mariners last season is because the league stunk. And I don't expect it to be as bad as it was a year ago, but guess what? It might be as bad as it was a year ago. This thing is wide open. You might have 8-9 teams in the American League that could probably talk about potentially making a run for the ALCS and maybe even getting by the Yankees or the M's or somebody else for the World Series. So this thing is wide open, man. Maybe even more wide open now, guys, than it was a year ago.
I agree, because you got the Astros out of the picture now, so I agree. It's wide open. Softy, you mentioned Munoz. He had a big weekend as well. Munoz pitched on Saturday. He pitched on Sunday.
Right.
I thought this guy's was really great stuff. I was there Saturday night to listen to Andres Munoz give his post-game thoughts. He talked a lot about how he learned from that big blown save in San Diego. Here he is.
Probably re-watching the outing, that was one of the good things for me. Used to see I didn't miss too much of locations. It was more about bad luck. Obviously, it's hard, especially because we were in San Diego. My family was there, and that is why I take it more personal. But it's good things to happen to keep learning and to humble you a little bit. You're always going to have those attitudes. It doesn't matter who you are. You're always going to be a struggler sometimes, and you have to get out of that.
I'm telling you what, I'm loving this guy even more. This is our closer, and here's a couple reasons why I'm loving him even more. How many times do we go in life and people just aren't accountable when they screw up, they make a mistake? There he is, Andres Munoz, saying, you know what, things didn't go great in San Diego. And I also love this. We hear this a lot with closers and relievers. You know, you have to have a short memory. You have to just pitch and forget about it and move on to the next day to be good. Well, Andres Munoz, no, he put the tape in. He watched what happened in San Diego. He realized he wasn't that bad. The Padres got lucky on a couple hits. He had one bad batter. He said, you know what, I'm okay. I just got to keep working. He started having bullpen sessions on his own to fix some pitches. So here's a guy, he's your closer, takes accountability, screwed up in San Diego, comes back, has great games on Saturday and Sunday. I love it.
Wait a minute. You just said that he got lucky and unlucky, and then you say he screwed up. Like, no,
well, no, he said he messed up on one of the batters. But that's watching the tape and realizing that. Out of that game, I think everybody would have said your career's done. Get out of the game, Munoz.
No, I think the best point on that night that Andres pitched against the Padres was your point, Chris, the fact that those balls were just hit where there wasn't anybody there. They were very fortunate getting some hits off of Andres Munoz. And so, yes, when you look at the black and white of it, sure, it looks on paper he had a bad night. But when you look the actual game, he was very unfortunate. Great that he went back to look at the film and realized, you know what, I'm fine. And you got to have that shooter's mentality, Softy, where you just keep on going.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. And guys, first of all, two things. This is like the pilot episode, right, for this show here. So like back in the, 15, 20 years from now, when this thing's got multiple Emmys, we can look back at you guys fighting with each other on the air about what, Egan's inconsistencies. I love that about you too. But, look, I mean, again, I'll give you 3 words for Andres Munoz. World Baseball Classic. Another guy that pitched in the World Baseball Classic. It's unbelievable. All the guys that we're talking about that are struggling on this baseball team all took part at some point in time in the World Baseball Classic. But, 13 base runners and 8 innings is way too much for a closer. I think we all agree on that. He can't be putting that many guys on base. And then, look, he's got a history of 4 years in a row now. If this was just 1 year where the guy popped a year ago and kind of came out of nowhere, maybe you'd think, oh, man, maybe last year was kind of a mirage. But now this guy's a legit superstar. He's one of the top probably at least 10, maybe even 5 closers in Major League Baseball. I've got confidence that he'll bounce back. My concern about the bullpen, honestly, and I love Dan Wilson, right? Like, who doesn't love Danny Wilson? Guys like us been around this thing a long time. We all go back to Danny as a player. That's how old we are. But he's got to figure this out, dude. He's got to figure out having a little bit of a better feel, I think, Chris and Paul, for this bullpen. The only reason why Munoz pitched on Saturday against Texas and came in to seal the deal is because he brings in Wilcox. He gets blown to bits, and then Munoz comes in and cleans it all up. So, look, I don't tend to put a lot of stock in managers. I think for the most part, it's about the GM, in this case, the president of baseball ops, whatever fancy schmancy name they give these guys now in baseball. It really is the roster when it's all said and done. But the one thing a manager's got to have is feel for a bullpen, right? And people, I'm telling you guys, I sense, don't know about you, Paul and Chris, but I sense that Mariner fans are waiting to pounce on Wilson after what happened last year. 8 outs away against Toronto. We all know what happened. No need to rehash it. But that was like, the fuel that is fueling the fire for criticism of Dan Wilson when it comes to his management of the bullpen. He needs to kind of maybe start to develop a little bit of a better feel for how to do this thing, because we're talking about the difference between making a World Series, right, and not. And that margin sometimes is like this, slim. And he's got to figure out how to close that gap, and I'm not sure if he's done it yet, boys.
Well, Guy, and Softy, you mentioned the word twice, feel. And you have to, as a manager, feel and analytics. And I think so many times we see it's a lefty on lefty switch situation. We got to bring in this person because the stats. But you do need to have a feel on where those pitchers are at. And I agree with you. That does take time. 139 games to go. But the fans are going to be less patient if the bullpen continues to have some struggles.
Yeah, and it's not just this year. It's not just last year. It's, a couple months in 2024 when Scotty Service got whacked and they gave Wilson the gig. So, look, I mean, overall the team's fine, right? They're contending. They're competing for bigger and better things. But we're talking about closing that small gap, Paul, and that just comes with experience, right? There were a lot of other guys out there. DeRosa, although I'm not sure if a lot of people are high on him after the stuff he pulled in the World Baseball Classic. Guys like Joe Madden, they're sitting there waiting for gigs right now. So it just kind of feels like there's this groundswell of, I don't want to say haters, but I guess it is haters that are just waiting to jump on Wilson's back whenever he makes a big mistake.
All right, Costa, it's great to have you on this show, Softy. A lot of great opinion from you already.
We got food for you here in the studio.
That's sticking in my teeth, Chris. I mean, we got 45 minutes to go.
I wasn't aware there'd be food, by the way. So I will be in the studio next time if there's going to be food. That's hanging out with you two clowns is not enough to get me to drive from Des Moines in traffic. But if there's food, I'll be there.
We got a great green room, Softy. Come on in, and every guest of our show takes home a pickleball paddle as well.
And that's when we go to break. When we come back, a closer look at Emerson Hancock, who gets the start tonight against the A's. We'll give you an update on Bryce Miller's rehab, and we'll talk a whole lot of Seahawks as they get ready for the draft. The Ultimate Seattle Sports Show returns in a few.